Matthew Boyd perfect into the sixth, but the Cubs lose. We'll break it down next.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is presented by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Throwback Thursday later, All-Star voting has opened. Starting pitching expectations over the next 7 games. And we start with Matthew Boyd, who did carry a perfect game into the 6th inning as the Cubs lost 2-0 to the Nationals on Wednesday. Boyd pitched into the 8th inning for the first time in 4 years. He's now up to 68 2/3 innings this year after throwing 39 total last year and 71 in 2023. Ahmed Rosario lit off the 7th with a solo shot just over the right field wall. Nationals added another run later. Thanks to 3 straight singles, the Cubs had the bases loaded and no outs in the top of the first, but didn't score. On the day, they went 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Not a lot of opportunities, but there was one at the end. Kyle Tucker pinch hitting to ground out with runners on first and third at the top of the 9th to end the game. Sam, my main thing, like walking into my studio here, actually, Kira said this to me. You can't win them all, and it did feel that way, right?
Yeah, it felt like that after the top of the first.
Wow.
You always hear people say it, especially the people that have covered the game for a very long time. If you're going to get to a starter, you probably want a good starter. You probably want to get to him early if you get that opportunity. Cubs had that opportunity. They didn't do it. And then they literally didn't get another hit off of him after that. And I don't really recall a time where they were particularly close.
No.
Let's just break down that, because I think the easy thing to say is, well, the Cubs blew a huge chance. That can't happen. But when you really look at the at-bats, Pete missed 2 pitches. He missed 2 pitches in the zone. I'm not gonna go crazy at Pete for chasing a low and away slider against Mackenzie Gore. It's a bad matchup for him. What he needs to do, and what he's been doing such a great job of, is punishing mistakes in the zone. He missed a couple opportunities there, especially one. I actually thought Dansby worked a pretty good at bat. 3-2 pitch, tip your cap, perfect breaking ball right below the zone. I don't know, Barry Bonds swings at that pitch. So the only at bat, and the irony where I'm headed is, on yesterday's show, I had tons of praise for Nico Horner and Craig Counsell. And of course, whenever I do something like that, the next day, I get, it flips. I didn't like Nico's at bat. He's the only at bat in that inning I didn't like. And you know what I'm going to say? He got a 1-0 pitch and he took a huge hack, and what he's so great at in those spots, a little ground ball right side's a 2-run homer. He has 0 homers this year. I don't need him taking big hacks in that spot.
Especially with 2 outs.
Exactly. And then I guess the last thing I'll say about the game, and it's not egregious and it's probably picky, I just didn't think Boyd needed to see the 8th. I just didn't. He was awesome, and that's why Counsell did it. But we know the real reason why Counsell did it. He can't stand the fact that the Cubs don't have any days off coming up, and he's trying to preserve the bullpen as much as possible. They had a day off Monday. They didn't have to use anybody real important on Tuesday. And I just think, I think going into the rest of the year, Matthew Boyd's health is more important than the bullpen usage. And it was just obvious that he was fatiguing. The homer was a lucky homer. But, he gave up a rocket from James Wood where Bush made a great play on it. And it was just like, just let the guy's given up so many of his runs this year. He's been amazing. It's like his last hitter or his second to last hitter. Let him just finish the outing, take a breath. He was outstanding. But again, didn't really impact the game. Not egregious. Just thought I would mention it. So really, those 2 things.
Yeah, I mean, he did run into a little bit of a wall there at the end, which makes sense because he was so deep into the game. And I think you're right to start to monitor some of the innings. When you talk about having the totality of the season in mind, I I go there a lot. I feel like that is something that is worth exploring. I feel like it's thoughtful. I feel like it's strategic, and with three more innings, he's going to eclipse his total from 2 years ago. We know last year he didn't pitch until mid to late summer, but he's nearing an innings mark that he hasn't gotten to in years and years. And so to paint that kind of a claim, I don't think is that much of a reach. Did not expect a Tucker cameo in this game. And he jams a finger, he misses a couple days, gets an X-ray.
That was exciting, wasn't it?
First pitch. He's a first pitch swinger, but there is
Yeah.
probably a little bit of the human element there. Like, oh, am I going to swing at the first pitch on the top of the ninth? I haven't played.
He doesn't
since
pitch
2 o'clock
hit.
on Sunday.
He doesn't pitch hit, so it's really hard. It's really hard. I mean, I'm glad he was in there, though.
Oh, really glad. And I wonder then if he plays, if he starts the game Thursday.
Mark it down.
Would almost have to think so.
Yeah.
PCA had an amazing catch to end the fifth inning.
Yeah.
I got up out of my seats. I got air time between the floor and my shoes. I didn't have my shoes on because
like a Visa credit card. You could fit a Visa credit card between those two.
Yeah, I don't know why I said my shoes. I don't wear my shoes inside. If you do wear shoes in your own home, give us a call. We don't have a phone number, and we haven't had one in a couple of years. But you should call us. Mackenzie Gore did pitch well in this one for the Nats for the most part. And Sam, he would really look nice in the Cubs rotation.
Wow.
If and when they trade for him this July. What a trade acquisition that would be, because what I wanted to ask you here was about these next 7. You got the finale against the Nats, then you got 6 tough ones against the Tigers and Phillies. Great test. But how do you see Boyd, Tyone, Brown, Ray, and Horton holding up? Because I have some worries.
Yeah, so do I. But I don't think anything's going to change for a while. I think it's not going to change until you hit July. I think the Cubs have played such good baseball, and they've been able to get through this stretch. I think Thursday is an important game. But to your point about the pitchers, it would be so much nicer to put our feet up and relax a little bit if we just got a little help. I mean, the Cardinals and Brewers have had 17-game win streaks combined this year, 1-9 and 1-8. And you see tonight.
That matters for sure.
You see tonight, that's really hard to do because sometimes you just have a night where it's just you don't have it. Yeah, I'm concerned. I mean, you really miss Imanaga against the Nats in Detroit because they're so platoon heavy.
He's been out a while now.
Yeah, and so I have concerns going into that series, especially in Detroit, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, tomorrow. But
yeah, that'll be a focus of ours, especially to lead off the series against the best pitcher on the planet.
But they got a hit, and I just want to close this out by asking you a question, and maybe this will get him going because I seem to have a gift when I criticize a guy who gets going. Matt, Ian Happ, since he's come back off the IL, has not looked like Ian Happ. And I want to ask you a question. Do you know, and this is a yes or no because I'm going to give it away.
Is he hitting $1.50 since he came back?
Do you know what he's slugging for the season?
Slugging for the season? Does it start with a 3?
350.
Do
you know what Nico Horner's slugging?
It's got to be just a little bit around there, right? Or a little bit less?
372.
What?
Ian Happ needs to be slugging a higher percentage than Nico Horner. Okay? I just want to say that. I know he's been injured. He's done some good things. He gets on base. Hey, Ian, after I got on you last year, you had a great stretch. It's time. Team needs you to start driving the baseball.
Let's preview Thursday's finale. Sam called it important a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I think he's right. Let's get to that all-star voting right after this.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA Finals are here, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Folks, I've been saying it probably since early March, talking FanDuel, talking NBA. It's thunder or bust. They're the best team in the NBA. I believe they are the worthy champions. I know there's a lot of Pacer fans that listen to this very program. It's been an outstanding run for Indiana. Rick Carlisle's done a terrific job, but I believe Oklahoma City on FanDuel is fairly priced at minus 700. They're the better basketball team. I expect them to maybe have some trouble early adjusting to Indiana's pace, but eventually walking them down and figuring it out on the defensive end of the floor. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Thursday series finale, Cubs Nationals. Cubs are minus 140 favorites on FanDuel.
It?
What?
That's it?
That's it.
Ooh.
And I wish this was an afternoon game. I don't want to wait till 5:45 Central.
Well, clearly you don't care about my job.
TBD. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Drew Pomerantz, right?
Yes.
Against Jake Irvin, who allowed 6 runs on 10 hits in his last start against the Snakes. Pomerantz will be the opener for the Northsiders, followed by Colin Ray. And the Cubs will likely use an opener this weekend with Ben Brown again as well. And this is the final game, Sam, of the 21-game soft stretch. The Cubs will finish either 16-5 or 15-6.
Cubs faced Jake Irvin twice last year. He went 8 2/3 innings. He allowed 12 runs.
Ooh.
He's a good pitcher, though. Outside of the game that you just mentioned, he was having a pretty good season.
Pitched well against the Giants a couple starts ago, yeah.
This is simple. Why do I think this game's important? Well, because you just lost tonight, and Friday you're probably going to lose.
Absolutely.
So you'd like to avoid a 3-game skid if you could.
Create a sandwich in there. Get a win.
Yeah, get a win in there. And I think it's an important outing for Colin Ray with the opener.
He would be the first to go if Imanaga came back this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's an important outing. He hasn't been sharp. This isn't a good matchup for him with those lefties in there. I think this could be a scenario where Pomerantz could go 2.
Great.
If possible, if he's looking
Nationals
good.
Lefty heavy, yeah.
And then hopefully the Cubs can just, they got shut out. So the odds are they're going to score some runs. You have Tucker back in the lineup. I mean, the Cubs are really better off facing righties because of how great Pete's been and how good Bush has been. I mean, think about how neutralized they were. You had no Tucker. You had to have Bush neutralized plus PCA neutralized. So your only real shot tonight that you felt good about was maybe Seiya, because Carson Kelly is, he looks like Carson Kelly now.
Well, we'll talk about him possibly going to the ASG.
Yeah, absolutely. But
minute.
I'm just saying.
If Pomerantz does the 13 pitches or less in the first, I would almost say just for efficiency's sake, he should just keep going.
Yeah, Reese McGuire might homer tomorrow.
If Colin Ray comes in the third, I think that'd be a huge advantage for the Shy Cubs. And I've never said that before. But,
never.
Someone could clip that.
We've worked together for a long time. I've never heard you say that, and I never want you to say it again.
Well,
how many days in a row have you wore an Iowa shirt on the show? Are you sending me a message? Illinois football is supposed to be good this year.
In the way too early top 25, ESPN has Illinois 11th in the country.
That's too high.
It's really high.
No, it's too high. They're not going to be that good.
Brett Bielema. Oh no, sorry. So
that's incredible.
Kelly Bush, Horner. Shout out to Sonny. Locked
Yeah.
on Illini.
Locked on Illini, baby.
Kelly, Bush, Horner, Swanson, Shaw, Happ, Crow-Armstrong, Tucker, Say on the ballot for the All-Star game.
Wow.
Voting officially started Wednesday. I wanted to explain some of this. Phase 1 of the voting is from now until June 26th. Then there becomes a phase 2, which is the top 2 vote getters from the first phase at each infield spot and the top 6 outfielders. There's only a few days of that voting.
You're really into this.
And then the All-Star rosters will be revealed July 6th. The All-Star game itself, July 15th, Truist Park in Atlanta. I would say because of their play, their name recognition, and the Cubs brand, and their brand, PCA and Tucker are going to get a lot of votes without like a public push. Would you agree? Especially PCA.
I think PCA is a lock to start that ball game.
So I really think we should push publicly then. I really want to push for Kelly, but if there's bandwidth just for one guy, Sam, it's got to be Nico Horner, man.
Yeah.
And I think we should shepherd that cause. We should get our materials out, put up our flags for Horner. Because I don't want Marte in there as a starter. I don't want Brendan Donovan from the hated Cardinals. I think second base belongs to Nico Horner.
Well, why can't we just do it for everybody? I mean, I just think every day we should remind people to vote.
All right, so then we can remind people to vote, and then I'll try to put a link in the description and on screen as well. I don't have that ready right now.
Yeah, okay.
But I could do that. I could put links out for people to vote. If you have the MLB app, it's very easy.
I won't be voting for Brujan.
Oh, he's not on. Oh,
okay.
You can write him in. Yeah.
Can I write him in, or I voted already? I actually voted today. I voted I had my Cubs vote.
Everybody should vote each day.
I just hit your max vote. Look, I think it's important that the Cubs send Kyle Tucker as a starter.
I think the fans got to vote him in.
Yeah, that's important to let him know. Fan. Let him know that he's appreciated here and send him to the All-Star game along with Pete. I agree Nico's definitely a candidate for sure as well, and that's probably about it to start the ball game. I don't think Carson Kelly has much of a chance against Will Smith, and I'm not talking about the Fresh Prince.
Right, and I know that, and that's where I think the fans would be like, "Wow, the fans really came out."
No, that'd be unbelievable. No, if the you know what, you're right.
Especially with JT Real Muto name recognition, and he's been cold this year.
If the Cubs got Kelly to start, that would be such an eye-opening cause because the Dodgers are going to turn out.
Yes. Well, and Will Smith's been excellent.
No, I'll be disappointed. I would be very disappointed if PCA didn't start, and I would be disappointed if Tucker didn't start, for sure. And yes, Nico, let's push him. Let's push him.
Okay, good. And I think Seiya still has a reserve chance, don't you?
Absolutely, and I think the gentleman that started tonight still does, but a little bit.
I think he's got an outside shot as well, and so does Kelly, Carson. And when you think about how many All-Stars they can have, but I would say especially starters. Again, we all knew Tucker was a star. He was an All-Star. But for the Cubs to have two is where this whole trajectory is different.
Absolutely.
And for PCA, let's say Dave Roberts hits this dude lead off, which he won't because Ohtani probably will.
Who?
But even if PCA is if he's in the starting lineup, he's going to take advantage of that at Truist Park. You know it.
Well, Roberts will hit him 9.
Right. He will. He'll be a second leadoff.
Yeah, he'll do whatever it is. He doesn't like the Cubs. And then he'll be chewing his gum and smiling.
Tucker will bat 7.
Yeah, no, Tucker will be hitting 7th.
It'll be 7, 8, 9 will be Tucker, Smith, Robert's own player, PCA.
And Robert, he'll just be chewing his gum. He'll just be laughing. You know, he just chops it up with everybody. He talks about his.
No, I didn't think he chopped it up too much. Has he been increasing that?
No, I'm doing like my Frank the Tank from Barstool imitation. Because he's funny. You know, he'll be talking about his stolen base in 04 or something.
You were talking about David Ross for a second.
No, well, he could chop it up. He loved to talk to the guys.
Oh yeah, no, I saw him talking with someone the other day. All right, never mind. Okay, so
and by the way, the National League All-Stars are way better than the American League.
No, I think they should win by 3+.
Yeah, unless Judge just hits a homer every at bat.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe we can trade for him.
All right, coming up. Okay, coming up next, we have some Throwback Thursday here.
Goofy show,
and we'll see how Sam does. Right after this. All right, Cubs Nationals series finale on Thursday. We'll be back right after that game as well. And I think the game will be the lead for that one, but the looming matchup with Tarek Skubal on Apple TV Plus will be a big storyline. It'll be should be a fun test for the Cubs on paper. I don't know how it's going to be for real. This Skubal's legit. And looks like the most winnable game that series, Sam, is definitely the quick turnaround game Saturday at noon Central after the Friday night game, because then they have to face Jack Flaherty Sunday, and he's a pretty good pitcher as well. So what I've been doing lately in these segments is I've done the kind of the immaculate grid thing,
right?
And so I want to do that again. I keep going from the last 5 years because I just want things to be fresh in our minds.
Yeah, which makes my life so much harder.
Players who appeared for the Cubs and Nationals the last 5 years. A couple big names on here for sure.
I think. Do you mean the Tigers or the Nationals?
No, the Nationals, the team they're currently opposing.
All right, Cubs, Nationals. Last 5 years. Is it a little bit easier than like Gavin Howell and these guys?
Yeah, for the most part. There's like one or two Hallowells in there.
Alfonso Soriano.
Well, he's on the list, but not from the last 5.
Kyle.
One of your favorite players on the list, of course.
Yeah, Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
Starlin Castro.
Right. That's beyond the last 5. Yeah. So Schwarber and who else from the World Series team?
Yeah.
It's a hard one though.
Coughlin? No. It's no. Terrible. The last 5 years is 2020 and on.
I know.
Is Candelario on there?
Yes.
Oh boy. Arrieta. Lester?
Yes. John Lester played for the Nationals very briefly. Briefly.
Let me just think. Last 5 years. Daniel Murphy was a Cub in 18.
Yeah.
So that doesn't qualify. Montero at some point I think was a National, but he was a Cub.
That's right.
Before.
Yeah.
No, this is I'm not answering the question. I'm not doing anything to help. How about the gentleman that pitched yesterday, Trevor Williams?
That's correct. Part of the PCA trade.
How many
went to the Nats? Yeah.
How many more do I have?
You have only just let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's a lot. All right,
one's really obscure.
Okay,
so I'll give that one.
No, don't give me it. Don't give me it. Okay. I actually think I know one of the obscure ones because I remember this guy had a home run off Hader.
Oh gosh!
When we were at
When we were at Tap House?
When we were at Tap House in the 2020 year. Oh, what's his name? Vargas. Ildemaro Vargas.
That's correct.
Come on.
Wow. That was a great comeback that day with Nick Cozy and Nick Slippy Bride.
Oh boy. I feel like I'm missing some easy ones if that was the one you were going to give me.
Well, no, there's one more obscure one. For sure.
All right, just give me a position player or pitcher for the rest of them.
All right, so we have 2 relief pitchers
Oh, the relief ones get me every time.
and 2 position players.
David Robertson,
No.
2 position player, two relievers and 2 positions. You said.
Yeah, one was a catcher and one was a like a utility.
I'm sorry. I'm over the. I'm in the bullpen realm. I'm thinking of like these random relievers, like a Zastrizny, or I'm in the right ballpark, but it's not him.
Well, he pitched this series actually already.
Oh wow. Thielbar?
No, but it is the
Genesis Cabrera?
Nope. Andrew Chafin.
Oh, Chafin. Oh, that's embarrassing. Ah, that was the easiest one. I blocked that year out of my head, that year with Chafin and those guys.
Oh, 2021.
Yeah, Tapera.
Do you remember who the Cubs got for Andrew Chafin from the A's?
Yeah, that first baseman.
2 guys, Greg Deichmann and Daniel Palencia.
And Daniel Palencia, right. He was the after.
Wow.
I just saw that tweet the other day. All right, and then you said a catcher?
Yep. Recently on the Cubs. Well, last 5 years, obviously, but pretty recent.
Barnhart?
No.
Yan Gomes.
Yan Gomes, yes.
Come on.
People have said I look like him.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
And then a reliever that recently got DFA'd by the Nats.
Oh, Jorge Lopez.
Was on the Cubs
I should have done.
year,
I should have done
Lopez.
Jorge Lopez. I should have done such a better job with this. I got all the hard ones.
Yeah, you did. I wonder if this is a first where you got all the hard ones.
Because
easies.
my mind always goes like with immaculate grid stuff to the hardest ones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Alex Avila, it comes to mind.
Sure. Well, what are some bigger names that do come to mind here because the Expos are involved as well?
Rondell White.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I think Corey Patterson played with this organization.
Oh wow, I don't recall that. I'd have to look. I'd have to check my research.
I could be wrong. Mark DeRosa.
I thought of one earlier. Mark Grudzelanek.
Edwin Jackson always is a candidate.
Right.
Man.
You're missing a big one. Andre Dawson, the Hawk.
Oh, of course, with the Expos. I said Soriano.
Yeah, you said Castro already.
How about a guy
I got one 2003 Cub that also played for the Expos.
2003 Cub?
Outfielder.
Oh, I was going to say Damian Miller right off the bat. Outfielder, Moises Alou.
That's right.
How about a guy like Chad Tracy?
Wow, the lefty.
I'm telling you, my immaculate grid.
First baseman.
My immaculate grid brain does all the hard ones, not the easy one. Last one I'll mention just because I remember when they got him.
If I had better internet, I'd have the whole list up.
Right-handed pitcher Dan Herron.
That's a good one, Sam.
Yeah, I really stunk this question up.
Well, it was good content. Hey, we'll be back after Cubs Nationals Thursday.
Hit a homer, Happ.
Locked On Cubs for the Locked On Podcast.
I mean, goodness gracious, he's got 3 more than me.
For your second listen, he's got a lower slug than Horner. He's sure?
Got a lower, yeah. Well, unless I got to go to the eye doctor.
For your second listen.
I mean, yeah, it's what it says.
Hold on a second. You're making me. All right. I got to wrap this up. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis. I got to clean my computer on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Or we'll be back Thursday. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.